to CWCD Casual Wrestling Conversation Daily for April 1st, 2025. I am your host, the Notorious Dirty D, joined by the Queen of Casual Level Up, Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
And today we're talking about the WrestleMania main event that should have had the entire WrestleMania world buzzing, but I don't think it is. So let me ask the question straight up. Did John Cena and Cody Rhodes do enough to actually sell the story of WrestleMania 41? Before we get to that, every weekday we bring you one topic, no fluff, no filler, just straight up passionate breakdowns for casual fans. If you like what you hear, join the Casual Wrestling Discord and hang out with the real ones, my casual wrestling best friends. You got a hot topic you want covered, drop it in the comments, hit the Discord or email me at questions@casualwrestling.com. Today's episode is sponsored by the Casual Wrestling Merch Store, but we'll talk about that later. First, let's get right into it, Lauren. Here's where I'm at with it. Okay? Cody Rhodes and John Cena went toe-to-toe on the microphone on Monday, okay? And both brought the heat. I thought they both dropped great promos, great delivery. Nobody stumbled. It reminiscent of like an 8-mile rap battle. This guy's taking shots. That guy's taking shots. It was all very tight. But I got to be honest. I have to be real honest. For as good as that promo was, I still don't think they've made a cohesive story apparent to what the actual reason this is all taking place. John Cena's logic still has so many holes that I wanted answered on Monday, and it just feels like we were left with a gunslinger shootout, but I'm not invested emotionally. It just felt like two guys who were going to take shots at each other. It didn't feel like they're fighting for legacy. It didn't feel like two guys building up to a WrestleMania. So here we are, less than 3 weeks out from WrestleMania, and I'm having to ask myself, am I excited for this match? So I'll ask you, just gut check, just right off the sleeve, how excited are you for a Cody Rhodes John Cena match?
I'm about like a 60% excited, I think.
Okay. What is the intrigue for somebody who doesn't follow along? Because to me, that's what the WrestleMania of main event is supposed to be. It's supposed to captivate everybody, right? It's supposed to be, when you talk about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, that kind of brought all the old fans back. Yeah. What is it about this match that would compel you to pay attention?
That like John Cena's back and he's a bad guy now, which I heard is a big deal because he's always been a good guy. I mean, I think that's the most intriguing to me so far. I don't know what else.
No, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you because I feel like this is kind of what this has become. This is resting 100% on the idea that John Cena is a bad guy. And just everybody should be real excited because John Cena is a bad guy. And John Cena said a couple of things that were kind of mean to Cody Rhodes. And John Cena said some things to the crowd. And John Cena's been ugly. He's been mean. He didn't change his music. He didn't change his gear. He's a bad guy, Lauren. We were told he was a bad guy. But let's talk Cena then. If that's kind of the thing that's bringing you in, my question becomes, did John Cena do enough in his 3-week little run here to command being the main event of WrestleMania 41? I can make the argument right now, this should be Saturday night's main event. This should not be the Sunday night main event. If this is where they end it, right?
Yeah.
If Cody Rhodes has to build for the next 2 weeks by himself, I don't think I'm sold that this is the biggest match in pro wrestling in the year of 2025. Like I said, John Cena did fine.
Yeah.
He did exactly what we expected, right? He's kind of this cerebral bad guy. He played some mind games with the crowd. He tried to use some witty logic on Cody Rhodes. So John Cena's the GOAT. No question, right? I make the joke all the time. I say Chris Jericho's a GOAT. I say Roman Reigns is the GOAT. But the GOAT of all GOATs, the real GOAT of pro wrestling, is John Cena. And he shows it when he gives us what he gave us on Monday. The problem is with these limited dates, with the reality that like he spent the first 2 weeks playing the whiny Cena and playing with the crowd and we're breaking up and all this kind of weird shit that I didn't really love, all to then in his last scheduled appearance give us what I've been looking for. Give us the John Cena that I thought we were going to get the entire time. He did such a better job on Monday when he really laid into this like heel John Cena that buries talent, that kind of, you know, that really just became a bad guy. My question is it too little too late? And is it too much too soon? This feels to me like a promo that should have happened the week before WrestleMania. So question is, has John Cena really done enough in these 3 weeks to keep your attention? Because we still have a couple of weeks before we get to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Will you remember these moments as if we don't see Cena again? Mm-hmm. Which I don't know that I believe we won't see Cena again. But if we don't see Cena again, does this hold you through?
Honestly?
Yeah.
No. Because I think there's going to be tons of other things that happen that I'm going to forget. To be honest, I actually did forget that John Cena and Cody Rhodes were going to fight each other. Just saying. Like,
yeah. It's somebody you don't follow Monday Night Raw.
No, not all the time.
We'll start with that. Your schedule allows you to watch more SmackDown. Yeah. I kind of send you the highlights of Monday Night Raw to keep up, but you don't watch Monday Night Raw on a regular basis. So it's easy to kind of forget what's going on. But I don't think that this story is transcending wrestling the way that stories have in the past. The last 2 years, if we talk about, let's just go back 2 years, right? Okay. We had Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 1.
Yes.
Where Roman Reigns won that match. That felt huge because it felt like the first time Roman Reigns could actually lose a match. He didn't. He won. No, so then we went another 365 days and we got to that kind of build up for WrestleMania where The Rock inserted himself and then the Cody Crybabies came and that stirred up the pot and gave us a night 1 main event of Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman in a night 2 main event of, which, you know, everybody remembers, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, where Cena showed up, where Undertaker showed up. That all feels so much bigger than what we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
And so the question being, has John Cena done it? I don't know. You know, it's hard. And it's hard to really kind of form an opinion here because this is all speculation, right? It's speculation that John Cena is not showing up again before WrestleMania. I find that so hard to believe in this moment that he doesn't show up again.
Yeah, because like, how are you going to make yourself relevant if like we just don't see you for a while? It's what we used to complain about Roman Reigns all the time, that like he just shows up for the big things and that's it. Like, isn't this like his last?
This is farewell tour, but he has a certain amount of scheduled dates, and these are the dates he was advertised for. I truly believe, one, maybe it's just via satellite, right? Maybe it's just via a scripted video or something like that. I just can't believe that this is the last that we really see of John Cena before WrestleMania. I don't think they can expect Cody to carry this by himself. But speaking of Cody, I think Cody Rhodes has held his own, which is interesting to me because if the plan all along of this story was to lock Cody in as a top babyface in the company, mission accomplished. I think they've done what they set out to do, though I suspect that Triple H's intentions were aimed higher than just to give Cody a bump. I'll tell you one thing. I love and I hate this European tour stuff. Okay, so I think the European tour was great for Cody Rhodes. I will say that. The singing,
how so?
Cody Rhodes, like that stuff, that fit so perfectly into Cody. It made him feel special for the last month. Because Cody doesn't get this kind of reaction in the United States. No. People cheer for him, but there's not the overzealous reaction for Cody Rhodes. I think when I look back now, the overseas tour was smart for Cody Rhodes. If that was the only reason they did it, it made Cody feel like a star. I think that if we were in the United States, they could have run into a problem where when Cena starts cooking, the crowd kind of follows behind, starts cheering for John Cena because American crowds kind of like the bad guy. Mm-hmm. We tend to side with, whereas these overseas crowds, they go ape shit for the good guy. That's what they sell the story so well because the good guy gets cheered, the bad guy gets, booed, and it's kind of, they draw very defined lines, which I like in storytelling. I will say, just as a side thing, I don't love the overseas crowds for like the other things. I think they interrupted a ton of segments these last 2 or 3 weeks.
Because there's just so much. It's good for a minute, but it almost feels like it becomes hard for a lot of these guys to get to the story they're trying to tell. Now, it's you either love it or you hate it, and it is what it is, and it's not going anywhere. We're going to get more of it. That's just my 2 cents. But I think Cody, he sparred with John Cena. He went back and forth. He solidified the fact that he does have 6th gear. Because I always feel like Cody's in 5th gear. I always feel like Cody's not going to get his licks in. And it felt like this time Cody kind of stepped up and he really laid it. The Vince McMahon line where he hit John Cena with a Vince McMahon line, that was fire. Maybe I might have missed.
So Cena was kind of talking about Cody's a manufactured baby face and that Cody's a product of looking at everybody he likes and mimicking those styles.
Oh, yes, I remember
And so
that
then
now.
Cody kind of turned around and goes, look, you want to talk manufactured? You're literally only who you are because one guy who's not here anymore fucking chose you to be a superstar.
That's very true.
And so I think that line kind of, it chopped down Cena a little bit and it just really evened the score for me and it made Cody feel like, okay, Cody can go. Cody's got the motor. He's got 6th gear. He can fire back and forth. This exchange to me will go down as memorable. I'm just worried it happened 2 weeks too soon. That's my biggest fear is that we got to this 2 weeks too early and that if we don't get another moment like this where they're face-to-face engaged, it really feels like to me this thing could cool off way too quickly. Now thankfully, you get the SmackDown that happens before WrestleMania where everybody's there. Mm-hmm. So that always is a cheat code where, Cena will probably be there. Cody will be there. If they need to pour gasoline on, they can pour gasoline on at that point. But what are your feelings just on Cody Rhodes in general right now?
I mean, I think he's doing what Cody Rhodes does and like plays to the crowd. He's a good talker and things like that. But my question for you is like, what really has made John Cena a bad guy right now? Because like maybe I'm just not feeling it, and I'm missing something because I don't watch every single week. But why is he bad?
You're not off on what you're saying because I kind of said this. They took the most safe route you could take, turning John Cena heel, which is this doesn't feel very far off what he did with Roman Reigns. When he came back to challenge Roman Reigns at one point, he did all of this questioning the integrity and telling them they weren't good enough. The only thing that Cena's really done is turn on the crowd, and he really hasn't turned on the crowd because he's really just acknowledged the fact that for the last 10, 15 years, the crowd has said, you suck, right? Mm-hmm. And the crowd has made some jokes at his expense. I thought it was clever when Cody said, as much as you want to talk about me, the crowd has never chanted that I can't wrestle, because there was a time where the crowd would chant for John Cena, you can't wrestle.
Did they really?
Yeah, you can't wrestle. So that's been a thing that has happened. So it to me, yeah, here's my hot take. John Cena should win this match. I really deep down inside believe that as we get closer to WrestleMania, based on the way they've played this out, it's not my favorite story they've ever told, but the way they're playing this story out, I think John Cena should win this match. Now, if he doesn't win this match, at the very least, the final scene, the go home frame, the go black frame as I call it, the last thing we see does not need to be John Cena laying on the floor. Let's say John Cena loses. Okay. John Cena needs to get back up and beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And The Rock needs to come out and they need to form whatever this corporate entity is going to be. It needs to come together in that moment. And the last image of WrestleMania has to be John Cena standing tall. I think it should be with the championship. I really do. I think that
cool.
I've said for the last 3 months, Cody is stale. This has re-energized everybody, but I still think that the idea, Cody's just like Bianca Belair, so much better when he's chasing the title.
Yeah.
That grit, that determination, that get behind me, so much better. And John Cena, what we saw on Monday is just a taste of what we could get on a week-to-week basis, not even a week, on these one-offs where Cena shows up, defends the title, kind of like Roman Reigns did, but even more arrogant, even more kind of acknowledging, I'm only going to show up every so often to beat down your favorite superstars. Yeah. And have Cody build that momentum back to get to John Cena again. That's the way I would book this at this point. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they're willing to pull the trigger, but it does feel like it's kind of all for nothing.
Because like if it's his farewell tour,
yeah,
and he just loses, like that's it. All of your work and everything just ends on a low note like that.
Well, so by farewell tour, he's wrestling the entire year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you understand that.
So he'll continue.
It's from WrestleMania to WrestleMania is his farewell tour.
Okay.
So it's next WrestleMania, I assume is his last one, I think, or maybe this is the last one. I'm not sure, but he's got more dates scheduled through the year. Okay, so definitely this is not the end for John Cena. So to me, I'm like you. If this is the farewell tour, he's teetering on the record of winning his 17th World Championship, which would put him as the most winning champion ever. There's so many things, so many stories to be told. And like I said, based on what we saw on Monday, I am now 100% bought in that I think John Cena should win this match. Who do you want to win the match? Just off the cuff here, who do you want to win the match?
I want to see John Cena win.
Yeah.
Because I want to see exactly what you said. What is Cody going to do? You know?
I don't know what it does for anybody if Cody wins this match. I really don't. I don't know what it does for Cody Rhodes. Sure, he gets the quick credibility boost that he beat John Cena. He beat a heel John Cena. But the reality to me is I don't know what that bragging point is. I like the idea. I think story-wise, I think if The Rock is going to be involved as some kind of authority figure, give us the next 6 to 8 months with John Cena as champion so we can grow to hate him.
True.
And we can build up to this triumphant Cody moment again. Because wrestling's kind of a roller coaster, right? It's peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
And I think that Cody needs another valley so that he can reach that mountaintop again and this time kind of save WWE. I would love to see John Cena win the title at WrestleMania, and on Monday night following up, come back with a spinner belt. And just be like, fuck you guys. You hate this belt?
I loved it.
I'm bringing it back again. And you guys are going to sit and look at this. And it could be an updated version with the new WWE logo, but I think people would eat that shit up if he came back.
People didn't like that belt?
Oh, no. It was despised.
I think
John Cena said the other day, he said, go Google the opinions, because John Cena was the guy who introduced that belt. And he said, go Google the opinions on what you guys thought of that belt.
All right.
So I think there's one other thing that kind of has to be said before we shut this down, and that is if The Rock doesn't show up before WrestleMania, because maybe in this 2-week gap, now it's The Rock's turn to take over, because I don't think anybody expected him to go overseas to get involved.
Yeah.
But let's say The Rock doesn't show up before WrestleMania. Is it time to start shouting as a collective that The Rock abandoned us? Right? He showed up at what I don't remember what it was, Bad Blood, and he did the 3-finger thing, and then he showed up at was it Elimination Chamber, and he showed he's just showed up a couple times, and there's never been an explanation, and then he disappears. Is it time to just start buying into what the IWC says, that The Rock's gonna show up to promote a tequila or a movie, and he's using the WWE universe to do that? Or do we have to hold faith? Do we have to? Because in my heart of hearts, I want to believe that's not The Rock's mentality, and that The Rock is just waiting, that there's a plan, and we just aren't privy to what that is. So do you think The Rock, let me ask you this, do you think we'll see The Rock in the next 2 weeks?
Yes. I think you have
okay.
to. Because will they be back in America by then?
Yeah.
Right?
So next week we're Chicago.
I think
SmackDown Chicago.
At Chicago.
SmackDown Chicago. I don't know where Raw is, but we're back. This was the official end of the European tour, so we bring it home in the United States.
All right.
So The Rock, I'm sure, will be in the vicinity of what's going on. I'm with you. I think he shows up.
For sure. I don't see why he wouldn't.
I think we're going to get a face-to-face between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and we're going to get a little bit more explained to us from The Rock's point of view. And then I think we're ultimately going to get an unannounced Rock, John Cena interaction in the ring before WrestleMania. I truly believe, I don't believe The Rock abandoned. I don't believe that there was ever, it doesn't make sense to have, what was his name? Travis Scott and The Rock and the fucking,
all that like
throat cutting and all of that stuff. It doesn't make sense to have The Rock orchestrate all of this. Now, I'll say you're cutting it a little close to WrestleMania, but I don't know that I hate that either. Like, I like the idea that this story is going to run and butt right up to WrestleMania.
I mean, what are ticket sales looking like so far?
I don't know. They're expensive. That's what I know. And being that expensive means hopefully they have pretty solid plan.
Right before doing something to get you super excited, I'm down for that because, like, I hate when they don't do anything because they're holding it all back for WrestleMania. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So. I agree. I mean, look, ultimately right now, I'm not that excited. There's still 2 or 3 Monday Night Raws. I'm not exactly sure. That can alter the shape of what's going on here. Does it worry me that John Cena is not scheduled for those? Yes. Do I believe that we'll get The Rock on at least one of those? Yes. Do I believe that we'll get a video package from John Cena? I do. Do I think that we're going to get The Rock and John Cena in the ring at the same time? Maybe the SmackDown before WrestleMania with Travis Scott and kind of a come together aha moment pre-WrestleMania that makes it feel even more like the odds are against Cody Rhodes. I definitely believe. I do believe that's happening. But this is the question. Last question is before we shut this down is, does WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania this year? That's the real question to me. Or does it just, is something missing? To me, honestly, this still feels soft is the word that I would use. It just doesn't, the card is still kind of unfinished. We're trickling in some of these matches that we didn't even know we were going to get, like a Logan Paul and an AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. We now, we've kind of know the shape at least of what Cena and Rhodes looks like. I'm probably most excited now for Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, which is great, right? That's interesting, but it's never a good sign to me that I'm more excited about Saturday's main event than I am on Sunday's main event. Like I said earlier, last 2 years we had Cody Rhodes versus Roman 1. We had Cody versus Roman 2. We had the Usos versus KO and Sammy was one night's main event. We had The Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody. If you look back even farther to the WrestleMania we went to, it was Stone Cold and KO on one of those nights. So we've had some big main events, and I'm just worried that the build and the hype and everything for this WrestleMania doesn't feel the same. Where does it feel to you? If you're ranking this, just rank it on the last 3 because those are the 3 I know you know. Where do you feel?
Like first, second, and third between those?
You don't even have to go first, second, and third.
So it doesn't feel like WrestleMania to me, honestly.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't even really know who's officially like on the card, like who's fighting for WrestleMania. I don't really know. I know you told me like John Cena and Cody Rhodes are the main event, but like I forgot. Mm-hmm. Like I shouldn't forget what the main event is. Like, I should like know. Yeah. But I don't feel that this time, and maybe they're gonna surprise us with something. I don't know, but like I'm with you.
To me, that worries me. Is like if you're the worst thing about wrestling, I say this all the time. Worst thing about wrestling is we always want a surprise, and when we get it, it's the greatest thing ever. It's the best day ever. If The Rock shows up at WrestleMania and we get all these surprises, it's great. But when we don't get it, and we've sat and we've hoped and we've dreamed and we've waited and we've predicted and we've speculated and it doesn't happen, oh man, it can make an event that was actually pretty good, right? You can have an event that's an 8 out of 10. And if you had a weird expectation, it could drop it down to a 6 or a 5 just because you leave kind of, right? The Survivor Series. Yeah, Survivor Series a couple years ago when we got Randy and Punk. Mm-hmm. That was a good event even without those guys. But the fact that they came was like, oh my God, they gave us both of the surprises that we wanted. That's fucking amazing. So I'm optimistic is what I would say about this year's WrestleMania. I'm not down. I'm not ready to shit on it and completely write it off. But it's not, I think a lot of us, there were so many people thought it was going to be Roman and The Rock. That's what we were getting this year. And now maybe that's just not a thing that's in the cards. Maybe that's another match. It just feels like that had to be a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
But we're not getting that. Cody versus Cena came together at the last minute. Could it be great? It could be phenomenal. Could it be a complete fucking stinker? It definitely, there is a world that exists where this match just does not hit.
Yeah.
And then what? Then the story coming out of WrestleMania is, what the fuck do we do next?
True.
But that's it. Here's 3 questions I'm going to leave you guys with tonight. Make sure to let me know your answers in the comments or in the Discord. Question number 1. Cena and Cody both cut great promos, but did they tell enough of a story to make us care? Question number 2. Cody held serve, but do you think Cody Rhodes has emerged as a more likable babyface out of this feud? And question number 3. Will we see The Rock before or at WrestleMania? Let me know what you think. Hit the Discord, email me at questions@casualwrestling.com, or leave comments below on this video. Check out the Casual Wrestling merch store. We've got new gear ready to drop for WrestleMania week. I'm the Notorious Dirty D. That is Level Up Lauren. This was CWCD. Stay casual. Ring the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Head down, we're ready to rumble. The casual pod don't stumble. No peace, no rest in this fight.